some of the reasons why he's wrong, and he dithers about them for a while. But here's the thing, okay? Every value that he's talking about is a human value and would cease to exist without humans to notice it. The idea that consciousness is a good and suffering is a bad is a human value. The value of other people's, of other consciousness, of animals' consciousness is a human value. The lion that rips the throat out of the antelope does not give a crap about the antelope's consciousness. That, to value another creature's consciousness, is a human value. No humans, no value. We give that value. We bring that value with us. This is why God had Adam name the animals, because we create those values, because we can put them into words, and in words we can explore their meaning and create values. Just to know consciousness, just to want consciousness, just to avoid a truck coming at you is not giving value to something or giving meaning to something. You have to have language to do that. So when you say, would it be good for us to die? The question is, good for whom? If we weren't there, the goodness of our dying would be erased, right? Any good that would come of our dying would be there. Good and evil, human values, things that we see on earth, that we create and we understand. Now, some of you are saying, well, wait a minute, what about, really, to pause for just a minute, the only important thing about the earth, when people say we must save the earth, Gaia, our Mother Earth, the only important thing about the earth is a rock. It is a piece of rock floating in the vastness of space, spinning around a star just in the right place to support life. The only thing important about that rock is life. The only thing important about life is human consciousness. Why? Because it gives value to everything. It is the thing that gives value to everything. All right. Now, some of you may say, well, wait a minute, what about God? And that, of course, is exactly the question. When we see these values, when we see the value of another consciousness, are we seeing something that's there, or are we creating that value? Is it just valuable to us? Now, I would say we're just discovering that value. The value is there, but we are discovering it. The reason it's there is because God sees that consciousness as well. Obviously, this professor doesn't think that, because if he saw that the value of the other animal's consciousness was absolute, he would also see that the value of our consciousness is absolute, and the value of the consciousness of generations to come is also absolute, because that also exists in the mind of God. He is reasoning without God. Now, what happens when you reason without God? And because there is a God, and because things only make sense with God who exists, right? When you remove him, in order to reason at all, in order to speak at all, you have to put something back in its place. What does Professor Todd May put in its place? He puts himself. He puts the idea that his reasoning about this, his thinking about this, is somehow important enough so he can destroy anybody